All right, once upon a time, there was a guy with all the money in the world. He could do anything he wanted. There was no longer things to decide on, or like challenges to overcome, or avenues he had to make choices. None of that. He just had all the money. He could do anything he wanted. And when he realized that point, that he had everything, then he was like, well, now what do I do? He went on a freaking travels to everywhere, and he saw everything, and he used it all up. It was just not fun anymore. He drove all the nicest cars, and none of them were fun anymore. He had epic houses with every newest installation and newest convenience, and it just wasn't hitting anymore. And he sat there with that void in his heart and in his bed at night, and it just would not go away, even though he had accomplished everything worldly possible. He just sat there. The void was still there. He had every woman he could have wanted, every relationship with friends. He was a friendly guy. Through his adventures as a businessman and whatever, he had friendships and everything, and he had experienced it all. And he got to the end, and the void was still there. He was like 40, still had plenty of time left to do shit, but the void was still there. He did it all. There was nothing to accomplish anymore. And so he picked up a gun, and he was about to blow his shit clean off. But then he considered, what if there's another side to this coin? He thought back to a verse in the Bible. He thought back to when Jesus was in the woods and the devil tempted him. He said, if you're truly the Son of God, if you're hungry, take these stones and make them into bread. And this businessman had once heard, our boy had once heard that what the principle of that verse was is that as men we have the ability to take the physical surroundings around us, the rocks, and manipulate our surroundings, our environment, our physical happenings in our life in order to make bread, in order to make what we need. We can take, whether it be a job and the people there, or this side gig or whatever it is, and we take our hands and we do this and we create the things we need, cars, luxuries, if that be it, or just the basic breads. And the man thought to himself, why did Jesus say no? What was the point of putting that in there, that Jesus said, I don't need these things? And then he considered it's because Jesus already had everything he needed. And the man had heard that a million times. Oh, you don't need all this stuff. You already have everything you need inside. And it sounded like bullshit, like childish bullshit. But now he had everything, and it just wasn't filling it. So he thought, well, what did Jesus have? He had God. Well, maybe I need that. And so he prayed one night. He just said, he didn't know if he was praying to anything, but he said, God, can you help me out? I don't know what's going on. I freaking thought I just needed to accumulate all these things, and I did, and now it's just I'm not fulfilled yet. I don't know what to do anymore. And he went to sleep with that. And God didn't come out and just talk to him like in English, right? But over the next few days, he started to think about God more. It was on his mind more. Maybe an inclination from the big man himself might have been what it was, but he was just on his mind more. God was. And he started to think about it more. And he started to consider different things, like he considered how painful it must have been for him and for humanity and for God when we sinned, when we were taken away from God. He considered how much pain must have been in that, and for there to have been that level of pain, imagine the amount of love that they must have shared, God and humanity. And he considered God must share in that love with him. And he wanted to know, what do people mean when they say love God? And so what he did was he imagined the love he had for his brother. He imagined this warmth, this feeling when his brother was in the room, the feeling of a hug, the feeling of missing someone, the feeling of talking and laughing with someone, those guttural laughs, of safety in someone's presence. And he tried to put that into a circle, all of that love, and then move it over to God and say, that's how I love my Father. That same warmth. And when he did that, every time he did that, he felt the same love coming back. And then he realized, okay, this hole in my heart was never meant to be filled with money and vacations and women and everything else. No, it was meant to be my Father who created me. I don't need to worry about who thinks I'm cool. My Father in heaven thinks I'm the coolest. You see? And then he was all right, and then he made it to heaven. Anyways, I'm gaining weight, and it doesn't feel good. I never did an update on this channel, life update. I'm gaining weight, doesn't feel good. Feeling some low self-esteem because of that. But I got a new job at Lowe's in the outdoor home and garden. So that's gonna be cool, and I'm gonna bring in revenue, and I'm gonna get back on tirzepatide and lose hella weight because I lost like 60 pounds the first time. I was fucking damn near bulimic, damn near anorexic. Okay, it was fun. It was a good run until I ran out of bread. And then you start eating like a motherfucker. Like a motherfucker. You start eating. And yeah, I got all that weight back. Look at me, like a fat fuck. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Also, I shaved my beard. What the hell's going on with that? You wouldn't even notice the weight difference if I had my beard. So, these are just things in the life of a nigga that worries too much about his appearance. Because having a good appearance makes him feel so good. And because of that, having a less good appearance hurts. And it hurts because for a long time he did have a less good appearance. I mean, just straight trash. Got mocked constantly everywhere he went. Just looked down on and cast out. So it does hurt when he doesn't look good. But it feels really good when he does. Feels like, and then he gets tripped up because it feels like, look at me, I fucking look good. Y'all thought I was shit, but look at me, I look good. And it turns out that's pride. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird road to navigate. Weird ocean. Weird waters. Yesterday, I started thinking about the shawty that I had talked to. Because as people, we love to sit in pain. I don't know what it is. It feels good. So I was just sitting in pain yesterday, thinking about old girl. I even sent a couple texts, but I'm fairly certain I'm blocked. It's just a new thing with iPhone, and it's honestly one of the most painful updates. I don't know why they did this, but you can block someone without them knowing. So like it says delivered for them. And so you can be sending text to Shawty and it says delivered, but you're blocked, so you just never really know. And that is a painful little update. But You know, we succeed, we survive. We continue to fight with the righteous sword and the righteous commandments and the righteous armor set. I can show y'all since, oh look, Elden Ring. I can show y'all since I'm sitting here the work I've been putting in on myself. Because I heard a wise man say, if you write down the people who you hate, and then you write down why you hate them, and then you take all of those things and you can dissect it and find all your vulnerabilities, all the bad things about you, because we are what we hate. And so what I did is I did that. And then I took all these vulnerabilities down at the bottom, all these things about me that are not right. And I just started one by one. I feel superior to or smarter than people who don't argue, who don't agree with me. I think that I'm more intelligent than others or morally superior. At times I act however I like because I think I look good. It gives me confidence when I think I look good. If I was cool enough to go to clubs and parties and have sex, I probably would. When I dislike someone, I want to belittle them. Right? So working on myself. Working on the things that are not so good. Not so good. It's probably not so good. But you gotta be like knowing in the very first in place. Because if you're not even knowing, then how are you going fixing? Here's some thoughts. I'll read this to you. I was walking a long walk outside, and I thought, they all know that I'm weeping, and they are weeping too. I guess my brain likes the idea that everyone but me knows. In this example, everyone knows that I am a defeated, in the worldly sense, young man. And just as I weep, they are all equally defeated and weeping. We are all defeated and weeping as people. It's a sad world, not having Christ to walk with, not being able to hold my God. Also, I just thought about how I used to put my ear on Autumn's cheek when she was little and listen to her chew. And sometimes I put my ear to my dog's neck and listen to her breathe. Something about hearing it reminds you that the person is simply a living creature and there is love in that. Also, listening to Autumn chew was just so darn cute. But there's something in the way she was just a living creature chewing food. Same with somebody on the video game eating chips, LOL. We're just creatures, and there's so much love in that, in a very personal way. Amen. Boom. Just some thoughts. Listen, young buck. Shawty is out there, alright? Shawty's out there. Just do what you're doing and try not to think about it too much because it's gonna be epic, alright? Don't be so caught up worrying. Shawty's out there, okay? She's freaking fine. She's cool. Alright? She's funny too, my nigga. She's funny too. Give me your fat fuck. I'm looking big, dude. Look at this second chin, nigga. That is not good. Alright, I drank 2 cups of coffee. That's why I'm so mad awake. How about y'all come with me come with me on this play with me while I put on my 3rd cup. Because we got church today. And I love to be a little bit hype for the Lord. Keurig's out of water, # irresponsible. Hashtag follow for follow. Hashtag like for like, comment for comment. Hashtag hyped at 10K. Elden wing, Elden bing, Elden ring. Now look, son, when you grow up in a world like me, when you see the things that I done seen, when you lived and slept with no blanket on the streets, when your morning ritual was cry and weep. Look at me, getting a little poetic. When you found it hard, when the parking lot was the place to sleep, when every couple dollars was just something to eat. That shit sucked. My nigga, I was homeless for a second. Really going through it, bro. Like, I had to sleep. It was cold as fuck at night and hot during the day. I was in Kansas. And I was in the city. I was in a little town called Leavenworth. You ever heard of Leavenworth military base or Leavenworth prisons? A lot of prisons. And it's an old town, an old historic town. And the thing about Leavenworth is everybody was sad as shit. And like hella people just like went out there like me and just ended up getting stuck. Just like how I was fixing to. And it's just sad. It's the middle of nowhere, fucking sad. Sad old town. Here we are in Lonesome Town, where the lonesome come to stray. Yeah, that type of shit. And I have no car. For a minute, I had no job. I was trying to find a job. I went out there because I had gotten a contract with a job. But then my contract fell through because of some unfortunate circumstances. And my contract couldn't keep me in the hotel. My employer couldn't keep me in the hotel if I wasn't working. And so, normally in that situation, you just go home. But my ass had started that contract with zero bread to my name and tried to make it work. So everything got fucked up. And I was kind of homeless. And it was really rough, dude. I remember sleeping in the parking lot a lot. Days on end, weeks. Or wherever. And then during the day, I'd get back to work. I'd go running around trying to find jobs. I almost went to school. I was really doing it, dude. And I ended up getting a job at a little, it was funny. It was like the most American little historic town. And then there was this cute little authentic old looking Korean food place. And I got a job there serving. It was epic. And there was like a couple girls in there working. It was really cute. Servers. It was really nice, dude. It was epic and it was cute as fuck. It was like a little Korean story fantasy tale. It was like a little Korean fantasy tale. They didn't know I was homeless. I would like come in and like pretend to be cool. Dude, that's like a Korean fantasy tale. I was like taller than everybody and stuff. It was honestly a Korean fantasy tale. Like an anime. But I made it home. I survived. I lost a lot of shit. You want me to list off some shit I lost? Vampire Knight full series on DVD. Angel Beats full series on DVD. Ergo Proxy full series on DVD. Blade Ever Since vinyl. Elliott Smith Either Or vinyl. Plenty of other shit. My old CDs from when I was what's the word? What are the little kids and they're like, what do you call a little kid? Angsty teenager, angsty young preteen CDs. All my angsty preteen CDs, bro. My best ones. 10th Avenue North, Over and Underneath. Owl City, Fireflies. Plain White Tees, Come Back to Me CD. Yeah, bro. Lost different things. You lose things when you live like that. That was my second time living in that type of situation. The first time I was out in LA. Had to do it twice out in LA. Just, I don't know, self-sabotage or something. Whatever it is, when you just end up just doing stuff and it pretty much is obviously going to fuck up your life, but you do it anyway. Whatever that's called. Some of us just do stuff to fuck up our life. I don't know. Maybe I didn't necessarily think I was fucking up my life, you know? I mean, that's probably, honestly, I just needed something different. Like this life, going to work, you know, it's not enough. It wasn't enough. And so I ended up doing craziness and going through shit for it. Just life of a dude. Life of a fucking dude. Sometimes I use that experience. I didn't digged up in my ass. Sometimes I use that experience of having gone through all that as like propelling me when I'm in a bad place. I'm like, dude, you fucking survived. You had $0, nothing, no home, no car. Straight at the bottom of the bottom as it gets, 0. And you survived. You did what you had to. You would get food on that table. You did it. So no matter what happens, no matter how much I lose in my life, I could have everything and lose it all and go back to 0. I'd know what to do. I'd be okay. That's how you gotta look at it. Went through it. Did it. And if it was my family, I would figure it out because I have that strength in me. I witnessed it. I watched myself do it. If something happened and my family needed it, we were down bad, me and my wife and my kids, and I had to do something to get this money to survive for us. I witnessed it, bro. My feet walk. They never stop walking to figure something out and just go. You wake up and you just go. Being a man, bro. I long for the day I can work and toil at my wife's expense and my kids. chopping wood. You know, real work. Real work, though. Not work that makes you want to kill yourself. Right? Nah, maybe a lumberjack. A tree reference. I thought about that when I was working just recently over at a park, doing some helping some guys, and we were cutting down trees in the park. And before that, the only other time I heard a tree come down or witnessed a tree come down was my grandpa doing it up at his cabin. Still remember that man cutting down a tree. It was epic, right? And so sitting here with these dudes not maybe a week ago, we were cutting down trees, and just the feeling, dude, just the feeling of watching that tree come down. When it hits the ground, it's the fucking best feeling in the world. I felt something in my heart. Hearing that tree hit the ground floor. So I've been thinking about logging because when we were doing that, here's how I put it. All my life, I worked customer service basically, growing up, early 20s, mid 20s, and I hated getting up to go to work. And then I found CNA working in my mid 20s, and I started working as a CNA. And then it was like going to work was no longer a dreadful thing. I just went and did it. And it was totally fine. And like before you have a job like that, you can't even imagine that. Well, cutting down those trees, it was like the next level. It was like not only can I withstand having to get up and go to work, not only does it not bother me, but I feel better. I would feel better cutting down trees all day than even being at home. You see what I'm saying? That shit was like fulfilling as hell. So I'm thinking about doing logging. Plus Georgia's a great place. Hold on, digging in my ass. Plus Georgia's a great place to do logging because the trees are easy to cut. They're like pine. So yeah, considering that as a avenue. Really right now I just gotta get my car back. The fucking system took my car. The system, it's out to get us, bro. They took my car. They took my only means of livelihood. Luckily, I got a backup plan. It's called parents. It's called a family. You know, and I'm grateful. Because otherwise I'd be homeless, nigga. Be homeless. That's one way to look at it. There's a selfish way to look at it. Well, it's not selfish in itself, but there's ways to see it selfishly. But there's another way to look at it that's like, they birthed me. So even though I suck and I'm a fuck up and like it's taking me forever to make some bread, it's like, I don't know, man, I didn't ask to be here. So, you know, but that's sort of like a selfish, like, yeah, you guys owe it to me to take care of me. Well, I mean, you did birth me. I didn't ask to be here, you know? So it's a weird thing. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm a fuck up. I know I'm slow. It's taking a long time for me to get my wits about me, dude. But part of it, dude, is I think I hate myself. So everything it's harder. Because I fucking despise myself on like so many different levels. Or at least I did. You know, I'm getting better every day. But sometimes it just feels good sometimes those demons, they latch on and they're just like, yeah, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. And you sit there listening and you're like, yeah, I suck, I suck, I suck. And you just get stuck like that in whichever way it manifests. I don't know, for me, that's been my whole life. I think it started with being an odd one out. And I hear people that I look up to even talking shit about, oh, this guy was definitely a weirdo in school. Talking about an adult man. This guy was definitely a weirdo. He fucking had no friends. That's why he turned out like that. Dude, and so that hurts because, bro, I fucking did not fit in. What does that mean? That I'm a fuck up? Parents shouldn't have birthed me? Defect? I don't think so. I mean, I do think so a lot of the time, but I'm trying to work on it. A defective human. Just not like, just doesn't fit in. Ugly duckling. And that's just the base level. Then you get to black sheep. And then you get to this guy's a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's how different you are from everybody else. You're a piece of shit that's only out to get everyone. Hiding, masquerading as normal. That's what I'll tell myself. Sucks. But maybe I'm not telling myself. Maybe it's demons just latching on to me because I know I'm a good one. That's 3 cups of coffee down the hatch, nigga. This church finna be here.